Good afternoon, everyone. This is Lisa Capola, your NAWBO National Chair, and I am so fortunate this afternoon to have with me Latasha Randall. She is a strategy and small business program manager at Block Advisors by H&R Block. And we're both here today, and Latasha is here to talk with us about gaps and opportunities that they are seeing in women-owned small businesses. We at NAWBO know that access to capital is a significant challenge, and this is our way to enter into our National Small Business Month, which started yesterday, May 1st. And Latasha, I am just so delighted to see you here. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I am super excited to be able to talk to you about what we've got going on here for Small Business Month.
Incredible support that you and Block Advisors and H&R Block are providing. Before we get into the details of all of that, let's get a little background on you. What is your role with H&R Block?
So, as you mentioned, I am a small business program manager for our strategy and small business team. And really, what that means is I have the exciting opportunity to make sure that we're developing all of the right products and services and tax support to make sure that business owners get exactly what they need when they come through our doors or when they reach out to us virtually to make sure we're helping support them and help their businesses thrive. And like I said, that could be new products, new services. I also get the awesome opportunity to work directly with our tax advisors to make sure that they're properly trained and ready to deliver an excellent experience when those small business owners do come in for services. And on top of that, I've got 20 years of tax knowledge myself from being in the tax industry so long. So you just kind of combine the tax experience and small business experience to make sure we're just delivering a great product for those owners.
And so you both own a small business and you work as an advisor. Is that right?
That is correct. I consider myself a serial entrepreneur because I've had several small business ventures, and at the time, even have three going right now. And so it just really gives me a unique opportunity to say, I wouldn't try to sell you something that I wouldn't use in my business. I know exactly what you're going through. I've been in your shoes in most cases, and I know how it feels when you're trying to make sure that your business is thriving. In many cases, we've started these businesses to build a legacy for our family. So I feel that passionately. And so I really, really take it to heart when I'm doing what I do every day to make sure that not only am I delivering for you, but I'm delivering for myself too, because it will impact me as well.
That's right. And it's incredible wisdom you bring to the table. I'm sure everybody watching this and our NAWBO woman business owner members are so happy to hear someone's been in their shoes, as you said, for 20 plus years now, making recommendations for H&R Block services. And that brings us to the statistics around women-owned businesses that we wanted to discuss briefly today. NAWBO members are familiar with these statistics, but let's talk about the highlights and challenges that Block Advisors is seeing with its clients and its data, if you don't mind.
Sure. So, one of the things we recognize is that there's just been an unprecedented boom in small businesses. And what we've realized is that women are on the forefront of starting new businesses. In fact, over the past 4 years, we have outpaced men starting new businesses 4 times greater. So we're really leading the charge there and getting these businesses started. But what we're also finding is while we're having great success starting these businesses, we're underserved, we're under resourced, we have more challenges receiving the funding we need to make our businesses thrive. And we often even find that we're making less revenue in our businesses than those male counterparts. So there's just a huge disparity there. And we want to make sure we're helping to close that gap.
That's terrific. And, as you know, as a woman business owner yourself, we need every support that we can identify. And that's great when it comes from the government in terms of programming. It's also amazing when it comes from private industries. So we're super thrilled that Block Advisors isn't just recognizing these issues, but it's working in a meaningful way to close the gaps. So tell me what Block Advisors is doing, if you would.
So I am extremely excited to share that we have our Fund Her Future grant program, and it is designed to put Up to 100, well, it's designed to put a total of $100,000 in grant funds into the hands of women business owners. And so what's going to happen is we're going to select finalists. It'll be a total of 5. And so our kind of first prize winner will receive $50,000 in grant money. The next 4 will receive $12,500 each. Now, in addition to the money that we're going to give them, we're also going to give them access to the needed services that they have for their business by our Block Advisors experts. Those services could include business formation, structure analysis of their business to make sure they're structured correctly, bookkeeping, payroll, tax support, and again, they'll have access to that support for up to a year from the time their prize is awarded.
So there's value in terms of dollars and value in terms of support as well. Is that right?
Absolutely, because we know that not only do you need the financial help, but many business owners didn't get into business to have to do their bookkeeping, to make sure they're staying in compliance with payroll and getting people taken care of on time. You want to do what you love to do day to day. So you really need that additional support so that you can focus on your business. And more importantly, know that it's being taken care of for you and that the work that's being done for you is guaranteed. And again, you've got an expert behind you.
So this is such an exciting grant program with a total of $100,000 out there available for small businesses. Latasha, can you tell our audience, 1, what qualifies someone for this grant? And 2, what can they use the grant funds for?
Yeah. So really what they're going to be able to use the money for is business expenses. So you want to think about the things that are required and necessary for you to run your business day to day. And what qualifies a business is really, we're looking at US businesses. We want you to at least have 51% woman ownership in that business. And then you need to be 18 years of age or older. And there are some exclusions and things that always apply with these types of programs. So we definitely encourage people to go to our website, theblockadvisors.com/fund her future grant. They can see all of the official rules there and details about eligibility if they have additional questions.
Latasha, what I'm so excited about, because I read a little bit about this, of course, before this chat we were going to have, is that women business owners can use these funds for their operating costs. That's not always the case, but you've just reinforced that operating expenses are precisely what this grant is designed for.
Absolutely. We want to, again, like I said, we want to make sure you're thriving. You are a crucial part of your community. Those small business owners, they employ people that are in the community that support them. So we want to make sure they have the funds, like you said, whether it's renovations on their building, if they need new equipment, or if it's just to make sure they meet payroll for the next few months. We want to make sure they've got what they need.
There you go. Absolutely. So we are having this chat on May 2nd of 2024. Will you talk to us about the process so that our NAWBO members and other women business owners across the U.S. know what to do and when they should do it?
Yeah, so the great thing is our applications are open now. So that means that if you're just now hearing about this, make sure you go ahead and get on that site so that you can get ready to apply. But pretty much, I would say, take a look at the application. It is not a quick application. It's a lengthy process. It can take up to about 2 hours, and it does need to be completed in one sitting. They're not going to be able to save their information. So they really want to make sure they review all of the requirements so that they have everything they need when they sit down to apply. Now, naturally, some of the things are going to be things they already have. They know the name of their business, how long they've been in business, their revenue, their industry. But we want to dig deeper and understand, why did you start this business? What's your motivation? What barriers have you faced since you've entered your entrepreneurship journey? And then more importantly, how would these funds transform your business? What would it mean for you and the community that surrounds you if you were a grant winner? So they want to make sure they've got time to get all of that information together so that they can really put some thought behind their answers. And then once they've submitted their application, we will have a selection committee that will begin reviewing those applications. They're going to select up to about 20 finalists to do a virtual interview. And then they're going to use that information from that virtual interview coupled with what was on that application to narrow it down to our top 5. Mm-hmm. And then I believe final winners will be announced June 30th.
That
And
sounds
and I think,
terrific.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
10:30.
deadline for applications is May 26th. So we want to make sure they don't miss the deadline as well.
Yeah, that's right. I was gonna say May 26th. It's a Sunday. And so we want all of our listeners and viewers to know, right? We don't want you to wait until the last minute. Don't wait until the Saturday before the deadline, but find some time. It sounds like carve out a couple hours in your schedule, make yourself a nice cup of tea or coffee, and be ready to dive into that Block Advisors H&R Block application so that you can get it done in one fell swoop, right?
Absolutely. And you bring up an awesome point about the date. If you think about it, that's going into a holiday weekend, Memorial Day weekend. So we definitely don't want people to wait till the last minute and miss out on this awesome opportunity.
That's right. It sounds so exciting. I'd like to know the why. As my friends in NAWBO know, I'm a lawyer by trade. I'm always digging. I'm always investigating. What's the why behind H&R Block deciding to take on this challenge?
So I think it's important to know that as a company, we take, supporting the community really, really seriously. So serious that we set up goals that are called Block Horizons 2025. And one of those goals is a commitment to support 500,000 US businesses by the year 2025. So while we're well on our way and we're getting closer to 2025, this initiative just further supports that and makes sure that we're reaching the corporate goals that we've set for ourselves. And then I think, again, it's important to know we all know that small businesses are the backbone of the US economy. Each and every one of them have a vital role to play, but you can't really play the part if you don't have the resources to meet the needs. Like I said, if you're struggling to determine if you can make payroll next week, if you can't order new equipment when you need it to make sure you can take care of your clients and fulfill orders, things of that sort, it makes it really challenging. So we want to make sure, again, we're helping to close that gap. And we really, really thought about how can we continue to represent those who may not get that representation otherwise. In the past, we've even, we did micro grants in the past to LGBTQ plus businesses. And I think those were $5,000 each for 10 business owners. So this is just another opportunity for us to identify who are those underserved and how do we better serve them.
That's terrific and incredibly generous of H&R Block. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our NAWBO members and other women business owners across the United States?
I think, one thing I would say is like you've taken on an awesome charge. Some of the studies we did showed that, some of the women started these businesses. I think it was over 60% started because they needed extra income for their households to support their families. So always remember your why you started this, why you got into the journey. And no matter how hard it gets, remember that you've got an amazing network of people around you. And, Block Advisors by H&R Block is now a part of that network to help you as well. Don't try to go it alone. Like I said, we're here. We offer not just your bookkeeping and payroll, but we offer the business structure analysis so we can make sure your business is set up in the most tax advantageous way. We also can help you with your beneficial ownership information if you're required to do those filings. So there are just so many pieces to running a business. We want to make sure you stay compliant because the worst thing that can happen is business is going good and you get that dreaded letter in the mail that you've missed a deadline. You've got penalties to face. So we're really here to help, like I said, not just with the funding, but to make sure that from A to Z, you're doing all the things you should do so that your business can really, really thrive and run smoothly.
So what you've taught us today, Latasha, for some of our viewers who may think of H&R Block as tax preparation only, you're sharing with us that Block Advisors provides so much more in services to small businesses. If our members and others who are viewing this conversation want to get in touch, how do they do that?
Well, we have a ton of ways to get in touch, but I think the easiest way for all of us now, we all have our phones and smart devices. They can just go right on our website to blockadvisors.com. And there's a small business tab. It opens right up. It'll show you all of our services. There's even some really cool calculators and tools you can interact with. We've got resource articles on various topics that they may want to know more about. So I think it's just a wealth of information out there. But like I said, yeah, they could definitely go directly to our website at blockadvisors.com. And that's going to be their quickest way to get introduced to their Block Advisors expert who can help them in their business.
And when they go to that website, blockadvisors.com, they'll also be able to see the Fund Her Future grant, right? And start their application process.
Yes, and we also have like I said, a dedicated site just for that. So if they don't want to go and kind of look through and find it, they can always go to blockadvisors.com/fund her future grant. I know it's a mouthful, but they can also type that directly into their browser and get directly to that web page and begin that application process.
Well, as you know, Latasha, as a woman business owner yourself, right? We juggle a lot, right? We keep all of the balls in the
Absolutely.
air. And
Yes.
I know that NAWBO members and WBOs across the country are going to be able to navigate exactly there, either to blockadvisors.com or blockadvisors.com/fund her future grant, to see all of the services Block Advisors provides, and also to start the application process to potentially be the recipient of a grant, with the total prize money being $100,000 and the grand prize winner winning $50,000 of that. Again, our deadline for this, Latasha?
It is May 26th, 2024, not next year, this year. So they want to make sure, they go ahead and get started. I think, making sure though that just remind, your audience, tell your story. Make sure you give a clear, picture of why you're doing what you're doing, how it impacts your community, what it means to you and your family, all of those things so that the selection committee can really see, hear, and feel who you are, what you're all about, and why you are the person who deserves this grant.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much for being with NAWBO this afternoon. Thank you to Latasha Randall, Strategy and Small Business Program Manager at Block Advisors by H&R Block. And we'll say it one more time at the risk of being repetitive. Don't forget to learn more about this amazing and generous grant program at blockadvisors.com/fund her future grant. Latasha, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.